starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
How about now? There we go. There we go. Sorry, everybody. I didn't turn that over. Everybody should be able to hear me now, I believe. So let me know. My wonderful wife, thank you. Dank, thanks for letting me know. David, cool. All right. Awesome. Sorry about that. I have to convert it over. It's a whole thing. So my bad. Please excuse, please also excuse the small mess we have in here. My wife and I have chickens, and here in Indiana, it's gotten overly chilly at night um, here lately. So, um, yeah. So we like to put our chickens in here at night. Some nights when it's really really cold. That way they don't have to be, you know, that way they don't have to be out in the elements, and we have to potentially don't want to lose them rather than. Josh, what's up, man? Thanks for coming by. Who else we got in here? I know David's in here, Dank's in here. Got right at about 10 people. It's cool to see people are over on YouTube too. I'm glad that people are able to use that platform as well, not just Facebook. So very cool. Josh, what's up with you this weekend? Are you going racing anywhere? I think we got a couple options. My mother, hello, mom. And Josh Anders, what's up, dude? David and Josh both, I believe, have questions from this week. So that's awesome. We'll get into those in a little bit. Where's everybody racing at this weekend? What's the plan? What's everybody's plan? I know kind of central Illinois, our area, central Illinois, Indiana. There's two good races going on around us, which is you can kind of see below me here. But PT's has a club race on Saturday, and also the Shark Bodies race is at Slideways. So, not sure, like Josh and David, I'm not sure where you guys are from. So I don't know if you guys are, if those are kind of tracks on your guys' radar, or if that's going to be something you guys are doing. If you're going to be doing something a little closer to home. Dank's going to Dirt Devils. Heck yeah! Dank, you're up north, right? So the Dirt Devils, I'm assuming, is somewhere up north. Oh, Malakote's in here. Malakote, are you going to stop by? And I got a guest appearance chair for you right here. You can sit with me. You can even have the main chair. I'll sit on the guest chair. Cool. Anders is going to Slideways. Yep, I got your car stand right here. All the car stands you can handle. Actually, a bunch of them need to go to powder coat, is what needs to happen. Temp in here is a balming 70 degrees. All you gotta do is make it out to the car. It's nice and warm in here. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. I'm working on it. I've got to get some prototypes in here and we'll see. But yes, yes, we definitely will get some of those coming. I think you and Matt going to be the two guys that want to try them. So, but cool. Well, we got about 12 people in here. If you haven't commented yet, say what's up, everybody. I know it looks like we got 2 people on YouTube. Chop, chop. I'm working on it. Working on it. I was hoping to have everything done. We could actually post things for sale for Christmas, but machine shop stuff has taken over that. So, but let's see. David, you are in the Kansas City area. Nothing planned this weekend. I got you. Cool. Do you have a lot of tracks around you, David? I'm not too completely familiar with the Kansas City area. And then I guess the other question that needs to be posed is that Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri? I would assume Missouri's more prominent even than Kansas. 2 fast lane and skips. Cool. I feel like I've heard of fast lane before, but maybe there's one around us that's kind of named fast lane. I'm not sure. Missouri. Cool. Missed opportunity. I just hit e-stop on that guy. Poor thing's been running all day. Been turning stainless on it all day long. So been wearing out tools left and right. But I e-stop it and then turn my air compressor off so everybody can hear me. So thank you very much. Why don't you come host this thing? You come host this thing, and then I will, and I'll just keep the machines running, Dustin. It's a win-win. Everybody gets your brain. Everybody will get way better information, and I can keep part-time too. 15 people in here. What's up, guys? Thank you all for coming. Any topics or anything anybody wants to get out of the way before we get into some of the racer questions? More than we can talk about anything and everything, no problem. And then like I said, we have a couple topics we can talk about and get into. Got a couple banners that play here, so we got 2 really, really good racer questions this week, so it should be really good. Happy to go over everything. If Dustin's going to stay in here, I'm sure we have some other folks as well. Jones is in here. It's cool. Yeah, Chad. All I can say is potentially with a wink. We'll see. We'll see what spring has to offer. But there should be a lot of really cool things going on this spring. That's what I can say. Skips is a small indoor high bite fast lane. Has a king of the dirt. Okay, so that's where I've heard of fast lane. Cool. Hopefully, while we're going over some of this stuff, Chad, if you want to hang around as well, I don't know if you'll have me in your ears or not. Normally Cole's in here, a couple other guys, so 14, 15 people. If we can keep that consistent, that's pretty good. Not too shabby. Yeah, I know Chad Maliko's probably pretty pumped up about a Lisden track too, so we shall see. But cool. Well, we'll get right into it, guys. I have a Applebee's date that's waiting on me with a really, really hot chick that I want to leave hanging. So we can get right through this and get some answers, get everybody some answers, and make like a sheep herder and get the flock out of here. So here we go. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. So I'm gonna put this across. Boom. And then let me turn the banner off so we can see a little bit better. There we go. So first one of the night. David Shore. Sorry, David, if I'm kind of butchering that. I'm assuming I'm relatively close. Shore. So David reached out on Facebook on the Scale Labs page and asked, at what point do we change shock oil versus spring? So great question. And then obviously everybody, you can see we have a little ticker here for comments so that hopefully the comments can kind of go along with the question. And then my big ugly mug can get out of there a little bit better. So sure. Cool. Awesome. So first things first, I personally am of the opinion, and I kind of commented on this, and then we'll go in a little bit deeper to it. But I personally am of the opinion where um, shock oil would be very, very fine tuning adjustments. Where when you go and start changing springs, um, you're taking a relatively big swing when you start changing springs, spring rate, and all that. So um, a really good debate, a really good question that I hope we can get going with everybody is, I know there are some guys that are incredibly anti um, mixing and matching springs like front to rear. So like say you have sixes on the rear or sixes on the rear. Nobody's ever going to go like seven right rear to keep the right rear pinned up and six on the left rear. And then there are guys that will, I know guys that will change spring rate on the right front. So like if you're going into the corner um, and car's falling over on the right front, I know guys who will kind of the first change that they will go after is changing the spring. So it's springs and shock oil is truly, in my opinion, at least truly a feel thing. I think it's a really, really big, everybody's going to tell you to do something different where you have to find what works best for you. Um, but I think if your car is really, really close and really, really good, you can, you're wanting, I just need the car to do a little bit of this or a little bit of that. That's when you can start changing and thinking about shock oil versus where spring rate, changing spring is going to be like, oh man, my car is like, I am dead over on the right front or dead over on the right rear. Obviously, if you're over on the right rear, you got some bigger balance issues, typically speaking. But I don't know if Dustin's still in here or not, but I think Dustin would say that it's fair that some of this big fight right now, like with these 26 cars that I'm sure he's hearing from a lot of people, is that car falling over onto the right front. And I know that I've been to races where I've seen some guys where they'll change out that right front spring and run a stiffer right front spring versus the left front. And then you have guys who will just run down shock collars a little bit, and then and that's kind of where, in my opinion, that's where shock oil comes in. Is you can change if you're down to where you're just putting a turn here, a turn there, and you're trying to chase a little bit. That might be a good time for shock oil. But I would venture to say a lot of the quote unquote fast guys, I would say it's relatively safe to say that once they have a balance, the shock oil doesn't change much. And then honestly, neither would the spring. We'll see what Dustin had to say here. It's because people want to drive into the corner and dump it. If you're going to do the run or do that run, the stand-up tower. I agree. So what Dustin is saying there is basically going back to what would be the 24, or no, it would even go further than that. What is that, a 21, Dustin? 21 front shock tower? Or 21 to 24, somewhere in there. And then what he's saying here, let me switch a bit better. There we go. Get my keyboard out of the way. So my wing's on right now, but what Dustin basically is saying is on the, oops, let me get it where if I need to switch around, I may need to switch around as well. But what Dustin's saying is, so this is a narrow shock tower where everything's in, where on the 20, I believe it's a 21 assault, and then it carried over to the 24. The shock tower, it comes way further out on the body to create more stability on that, and it's dramatically changing roll center. So let me change back to here real quick, guys. A little bit bigger screen. So right now this is a 26 assault, and on these 26 assaults, it's got a more, what I would call like a traditional, almost like an off-road buggy front shock tower or front type shock tower. It's a little bit wider than what a buggy would be, two-wheel drive buggy, but the 21 to 24 style, and I'll make sure that I correct this if I'm wrong, but it is quite a ways out further. So if you're having a real hard time with things, with the car feeling unsettled, especially in the front, or if you're dead over onto the right front of the car, switching that out will definitely deaden the front of the car a little bit, and won't make it nearly, my terms would be edgy. It'll definitely create a little bit more balance overall in the car, switching to that shock tower. But David, you're kind of the star of the show. Oh, whoops. I had it on there the whole time. I'm sorry, guys. Didn't ever switched over. But David, you're kind of the star of the show here. How do you feel? How do you feel about those answers? Do you have any other, answers further or questions further into shock and oil? And then we can certainly go into that more. More than happy to go into that more. Three guys over on YouTube now. Cool. But yeah, please, David, don't be shy. If you have any further questions on it, or if you feel like we didn't get very good answers, please let me know, and we can go in further. Typically speaking, talking shock oil, in all of my previous racing experiences, I've always ran the TLR stuff. I have switched over to quasi speed stuff now. Just because it's readily available and somewhat local to me. Can't say that I've found a performance advantage or disadvantage at all. Quasi's perfectly good stuff. TLR is perfectly good stuff. I know a lot of guys who run the Team Associated. It's perfectly good stuff as well. So yeah. But David, if you're good, don't feel obligated to comment back or anything. But if you're good, we'll switch over to the next one. Hopefully Josh is in here, Josh Anders, and we can get his question answered. I'll give you a couple more seconds, David, if you have any other questions, and then we can always go back as well. So no problem there. Okay, good question. Okay, so before we go to that, David asked big bore versus small bore. So I know big bore was quite the craze, a couple years ago, and then I know it's went kind of back to small bore stuff. I see a lot of guys that are running small bore shocks with big bore springs, as well. That's kind of an option. I'm not saying a lot of guys are doing that, especially with some of the quasi springs coming out now that are a little bit, the ones that are matched in particular, they're a little bit more stable. And it comes down to it's a preference thing, more than anything. Okay, so David's asking here. Let me throw this on there. So David's asking, when you switch, do we keep the same shock oil as far? And that question is coming from as far as switching from big bore to small bore. I, coming from my experience, I really have only ran small bore springs. I don't think that you're gonna, at the end of the day, a 7-pound spring is a 7-pound spring, either way you look at it. whether it's the big bore or the small bore. It's what you're achieving from, if you still have a 7-pound spring on a big bore versus small bore, you still have a 7-pound spring. So got somebody coming in. That was fast.
What kind of BS are we doing in here?
Well, here's the man.
How many viewers do you have?
14.
14. That's more than me.
Here. I
Here.
have more than you. You did.
No, it's more than me. I only have
Oh,
one.
you're live coming in too?
Yeah, I figured
Here, grab the chair.
why am I taking the chair?
You're the man.
How am I the man?
I'm a nobody.
Dude, you have a way better setup than I have.
Well, what do you expect?
Like I'm
I
jealous.
do this for a living.
Oh, well, you should come do this for me.
So let's switch. There's the man.
Now I'm up there.
So
And
that's where you
even
look.
my shirt's right.
That's where you look.
See,
There you
my
go.
shirt's wrong here.
Oh, it's backwards. I just changed out of my customer.
Yeah, see, it's backwards. You changed out of your customer shirt.
I just changed out of my customer.
I had a customer shirt on yesterday. Oh, we're going yesterday.
Good.
So if you guys want to watch this, you got to go here. Go over to what is this? Scale Labs.
Scale light.
Scale Labs RC. So, I think I passed you now.
Are you?
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
I've tied you at least. Damn it.
There it
All
goes.
right. So, if you want to continue this, I'll be over there. See ya. All right. What were we talking about? Because I had to stop. All I caught was
So
it smells
David,
like coolant in here.
well, the machine. So David just went and asked about big bore versus small bore springs. I told him I really haven't ran big bore stuff very much,
Yep.
and I told him that a 7-pound spring is a 7-pound spring either way you look at it. For most-
Yes and no. I agree to a point. Spike.
So then,
Which one?
Joey.
Sweet. I used to make these things. That's why I'm so curious. I made these
Took his work.
for years for Salon Racing products. No, you didn't.
Hopefully you didn't make those.
No, you can have these. I did not make these.
We didn't make those, but they're.
No, I didn't make those. Those
You
were
didn't make that fitting either, did you? You would never let that out of your shop.
no, but I know who made that, and we make them now because of that.
I think we both have it. So that's what.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta stop this. Oh, sorry. I got trained. I squirreled this whole system. Now, what's the question?
Big bore shocks or big bore springs. I know you guys are a lot of the big guys now are on small bore shocks with big bore springs sometimes.
Yeah. So the big bore springs. So, like big bore springs themselves, you have like everything's just bigger, lazier. Just you have more spring to compress and everything else.
Right.
Bigger diameter. So the spring rate, even though it's the rate in which it moves is different. So you get like that plush feel, like nice sedan feel versus a sports car feel.
Right.
I mean, that's the best way to put it, in my opinion.
More edgy on the small bore stuff.
Yeah, small bore stuff is definitely more edgy. It's more responsive, reacts quicker.
And then when you commented on the front shock tower as well, that's kind of the same idea. If you go to the wider shock tower, then you're making the car a little lazier. Or
And-
other way around. I'm sorry.
So, in my opinion, no. Some people, I think that very much depends on how you drive. So, like, I prefer laid-in shocks because I roll out of the throttle smooth and I get back in the throttle smooth.
Okay.
So I want that transition to be smooth, and I want the front end to stay down longer.
Right.
So that's why I like the laid in. Stand up. Jones doesn't like the laid in. He likes stand up. Jones drives it to the corner as deep as he possibly can, lifts, and then wants to get back to the throttle as fast as he possibly can, and wants the car to do miracles in the process.
Right.
But when he gets it and it's right, it's really good.
Okay.
So that's kind of the difference there. Stand up will act quicker because your spring rate ends up being higher. Just because of the angles, you don't have any like digressive spring rate, so to speak.
And then one thing that tailors into this really well, I know on the late model stuff, a lot of guys are running bump stops.
Mhm.
Have you or anybody seen bump stops over on the right front of sprint cars?
Some people run them. I don't personally run them, mainly because I don't really feel like we're not dragging a body.
Right.
I mean, that's why that's pretty much the only reason I run a bump stop.
Don't just purely
Just-
limiting.
Yep.
Okay.
Keep the body off the track. I like most of the time. I want my nose plate to barely touch, but my body not to hit.
Okay.
So it's a lot of work.
Because that's where I check everything as I'm checking that wear point right there.
Yeah. So
I squish everything.
for me, like you can kind of where's your fancy camera? You had a fancy camera
Fancy
that like
camera.
looks down.
So
Oh, dude, it just turns down.
it's a gimbal. See, it's a gimbal style.
This is ridiculous. I need to get this fancy stuff. So this point here on the nose plate, which is like the right front corner of the nose plate, you can see the discoloration. If I hold it, yeah, you can see discoloration right there. To me, our cars work the best whenever you're wearing that, like substantially wearing it at times. Because you want the car to nose over as far as you can to get that screen is completely jacked up on me. How many viewers you have? Where do you see all that?
So viewers are
Look at me here. Oh,
Viewers are right
you're
here.
up. You're up.
So we got 20 people, and then 4 on
4 on
YouTube,
YouTube.
16 on Facebook, and then this is kind of our rolling comment section. So
Okay.
Dremeyer, first time caller.
What
Justin
in the
Dremeyer.
hillbilly going on here?
So and then we can click on it and we'll put it up on the screen there. And then TK Tyler Keel. Yeah, but between Tyler and Dustin, anybody's on podcast.
You're not wrong, Tyler.
Craig's in here. Craig, your parts that's the stainless I was running today. So your parts are over there. Rhodes called you an old guy. Hard to disagree with him.
I am.
And then let's see. So the question was from this gentleman, so we can
Bro,
put it over there.
this is ridiculous.
So it takes quite a bit of time to build this out, but once it's built, it's pretty easy. And then I just go through and change it
So you can just copy and paste it for me?
pretty much.
Even better.
So, and then so what I like to do is I like to put podiums for people so that they get kind of recognized for what.
Yeah, I saw you doing that.
So
That's pretty cool.
This will go through, and then for club race stuff, and then that could kind of be in the background, people wanting to watch or so they know what races. Typically, I do a little bit more than this, but
I thought this
I was
whole
lazy
thing was
this
over there in the corner.
it was that my actual bench is over there, but
Oh, okay.
my computer's right there by your left leg, and that computer's
I got you.
does way better than my laptop.
Ah, I got you.
So
Every time I come in here, he's not in here.
the one time you came in here.
I came in here
That's
twice
right.
and you weren't here.
That's fair. So anyway, so then we can go back to our ugly mugs and catch up with basically where Andrew Schroeder now, and you can read what he's saying.
I don't know where I'm pitting. I think I'm upstairs.
At INS,
Yeah,
is that trackside? I assume.
trackside.
Are
Yeah.
you taking 47 cars like you did last time?
No. I'm gonna take a wheeler and a 2-wheel drive buggy and maybe 2 2-wheel drive buggies.
Tool driver.
I think I'm gonna take an associated 2-wheel. I'm not gonna disclose what the other one is. And
I was
then-
going to mute myself and say, do I know things that people find that we shouldn't talk about?
And then if Kasurik gets a new low C wheeler, then I'm gonna run his old one because it's always better than mine. But I also did get a new B84. That 80
Is all the
horn.
low C wheeler stuff still belt driven?
What's that?
Was all the low C wheeler stuff still belt driven?
No.
They went to drive shaft now?
Yeah.
That's what I've been running that jammers every once in a while.
Actually, I have one of these. I just sold one to CJ Greaves.
That's the 25. So it's a model year old already.
Yeah, that's the same one I have. Well, had. Yep. Jammers. I need to go to Jammers.
Pretty cool.
Now they have like real turf instead of or carpet instead of turf.
That's what everybody's been saying. Got 23 people in here.
Man, moving on up.
So Andrew, I don't know.
I need to share that.
The man himself,
What's the question?
he's pitting in his car out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm pitting upstairs. And I know that they those pits are all full. It's all like local guys that race there. I for some reason have a pit space there. So even though I only race there a couple times a year.
That might be my favorite track that I've ever been to.
Trackside is an amazing track.
Seems pretty simple.
What is this? Scale Labs.
Is it about 86 times smaller than Hoosier?
No, not really. Whoa. I don't want to watch it.
I feel like Hoosier Hobbyplex is ginormous compared to some of these places.
So Hoosier Hobbyplex, honestly, like if you take, I don't know. Hoosier's bigger, but it's not like massively bigger. Why can't I just like click on this
But
to share it?
call me crazy, but I feel like
No.
I feel like Hoosier Hobbyplex could almost be an 8 scale. They could run 8 scale. They're pretty comfortable at times, depending on the layout.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I also grew up racing at RJD in Lincoln, where it was basically a track inside of this.
Why can I not share this?
Do you follow the page?
Not with this. I don't follow anything because I had people that whined because I followed something and didn't follow their stuff. So I'm
You can
anti-follower.
copy the link. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you have to follow to share it.
Probably.
That'll work.
Maybe this will work.
I think we might have a new record though for Wrenchin Wednesday. I don't know. I think on the Elite Wednesday, I think we had like 40 at one time. Was the most.
Oh, and I didn't even know anything about any of that stuff until after it was over.
Yeah.
Pit spot seating chart closes January 10th, according to the. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Jamie told me I was going to be pitting upstairs.
Cool. So let's see. Well, first off, Tim, you got to follow, and then you can share. So your deal.
I think
because you were trying to share from a page.
Yeah, because I was trying to share from my page.
That's fine.
Because very few people. Well, I mean, I have RC people on my personal one, but I don't do much with it. I don't do really any RC stuff with it.
So like on this now, so this is what people are seeing, and this is staged.
Yeah.
So then we can stage that. So now people can see this, which is our second racer submitted question, which is brass on mod cars, how much, location, and why. So I can talk about, or we can talk about what's on my car now, and then if that's
what is on your car,
too jazzed up. Link.
You got a broken front bumper. You're supposed to stop running into stuff.
I'm hoping that I can hook somebody with it and just get drug around the track.
Well, the problem is I've hooked somebody and it doesn't typically work out very well.
And then in the front of the car, I have a brass.
You got the brass here.
Yep.
Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. It's up here. That's kind of weird to get used to.
It's bad.
I guess the problem is I just got to look at the camera and then it'd be fine.
Right. And we can also do this. This helps as well. So you can see yourself. That's what you can see.
Yeah. So you don't have a ton of brass on here.
Yeah. Shouldn't.
You have more brass than me.
I typically I know that I found Jones had me move that brass battery mount back to the back of the car.
Yep.
Or I may have done that actually at Slideways and just never moved it. But I've always been a proponent of having it in front myself.
Yeah. And it has to be pretty good grip for me to run any brass as far as the battery mounts. Because my opinion is the battery mounts were still way left of center. So you're adding left side weight. So I would rather just not have it back here if I'm just trying to create more rear grip. I would do something other than this. I'd just continue to run either the molded or the aluminum here.
And not do the brass on the backside or the front side.
Well, to me, if you're gonna need, it depends on what you're looking for, I guess. So like I run it up front whenever I want like more drives or more steering center off. Like I'll put the brass up here.
Okay.
Just because you're creating more left front weight whenever you do it there.
Right.
I'm not a fan of having brass in the back here unless I'm just trying to gain left side overall weight.
And I very well may have moved that as well on the last day there at my last time I raced was at Four Rocks.
Oh, okay.
And I was traction rolling like an SOB, so I think I may have tried to put weight to try to
traction rolling
real bad.
Oh,
best car I've had so far.
Then I would have put that up here and then way forward and as far out as I could get it.
Yeah, keep the left.
Yep.
More control.
So a lot of times you trip over the right rear. A lot of people think that whenever you're traction rolling over the right front. And most of the time you trip it over the right rear.
Because then it's hooking and
yep. So what it'll do is it'll go into the corner and it'll set on the right rear and then or on the right front because the weight transfers there.
Yep.
But then as soon as the right rear actually starts to take a set, that's whenever it'll flip. Because it'll actually trip over the right rear. And a lot of people don't think it's doing that. All they concern themselves with is trying to keep the right front from dipping into the corner, which yes, that helps. But again, a lot of times you're tripping over the right rear, not the right front.
Which that makes sense why it's because then you load up so much on the right rear that it basically shoots itself out from underneath itself once you get to a certain point.
Yep. I do make these. No, I don't. Never mind. I make the other one that looks a lot like that.
Oh. I just got the PO to make all those today, actually. But
spot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You need a job?
No.
I need somebody real bad.
No, it's me too.
Well,
I need a machinist really bad.
But anyway, so yeah, we can go back to the comments here. Dustin, you're getting a lesson in technology. That makes sense. You're an old guy.
I am.
Brent Clanton, if you put weight on the A arm, is it unsprung? Right, it causes the car to do what? Is that English, Brent?
I'm not following that.
So if you put a brass weight on the arms up there, like we can, I think Brent's asking, is that unsprung weight?
Yes. Yep.
So I have had people ask if you want to give a synopsis on what is unsprung versus sprung. I've tried to explain that, but I don't think I did a good job last episode.
I mean, the easiest way to just explain it is like unsprung because it's on the arm and it's not here. I don't really know how the correct way to explain it, but essentially you're not controlling any of that weight with the spring.
Right. So 95% of your brass is going to be unsprung weight.
Well, like this is sprung weight. If you have a camera mount, that's sprung weight. If you have the brass up here, that's sprung weight. But like this is unsprung weight. The plates on the arms would be unsprung weight. The left front brass would be unsprung weight.
So it's actually backwards from how it just was worded then. So it's unsprung is not controlled by.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're more control.
You're not controlling weight transfer with the spring,
right?
With anything that's unsprung. It's like this is going to be what it is, regardless. So the only thing you're doing with this weight here is just making this tire stay on the ground more. Versus, and obviously you're adding some weight to that corner of the car and everything else. But like if you put it here, now that weight can move. With the cars moving.
The center of gravity of the car, that weight is moving.
Yeah,
the center point of that weight is moving with the center point of the car.
Yes,
where this is not moving because
correct.
So that's the perfect way to kind of explain that. Then is The unsprung is moving, yeah, with the center point of gravity of the car. So it's changing the center point of the car.
Well, you're always going to have. So if this is a 15 gram weight, so you're always going to have 15 grams of weight right here, minimum, because that's whatever that weighs.
Right.
Now, if you take that and you put it right here, you might gain 10 grams of left rear. But whenever you start actually rolling and moving the chassis, now that weight isn't always there.
Gotcha. And have you played at all, like, because you moved all your cars over to Fusion yet? Like, you have full assemblies in Fusion now?
Yes,
So have you played with putting the center point of gravity on your car?
I've not.
And put the node on there, and then because it'd be interesting to know, because we can actually set
Have
properties.
you done
on
all
this.
that?
Huh?
Have you messed with joints? And
Oh, yeah.
it sucks because if you don't join everything,
Well, it went to
right,
constraints now, which is even better.
when did it go to constraints?
It's about 3 weeks ago.
Then maybe I need to look at it again.
It's
Because right now the cars that I have are all joined together with joints.
yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
And then because like if you don't set the range of motion right for this, whenever you move this thing might do a
Yeah, it
whole
goes-
whoop de
it
doo
goes-
over. And
Constraints.
then
you
like
do
the
3
arms
points of
over
freedom.
here.
The constraints you do 3 points of freedom for every like.
All right. Well, I know what I'm doing tomorrow at the shop.
Because I've got
Learning constraints.
like when I did all of PBRC's cars.
So it's more like SolidWorks and how they
Inventor.
constrain.
Inventor. It is
Inventor.
Inventor.
Okay.
And because it's also went now to, they can't see this, but it's also went now to when you go to create this, you can do just a part design. Like Fusion previously has been only a hybrid design style,
Okay.
but you can actually have a assembly file now or a part file instead. So it's going closer and closer.
That's what we had already.
It's always been hybrid because it's been parametric modeling the whole time. So like now this is
figure.
considered an assembly file
Interesting.
because I'm able to put this. So this is like a master template. that
Yeah,
I
you just
bring
got
in
a
for each
master
one.
shop to do your
That way I know if I'm going to spook something.
turning off of it.
Yep.
Man, you just G&M code those things, straight line them.
Dude, I couldn't GNM code my turret from one side of the machine to the other.
Oh, come on. It's not that hard.
No shot. So let's see.
Wait a minute. How do I get this over there?
Get what over where?
Go back to the other computer, the other screen.
So where it's looking at us.
Sure.
So it's
I just won't see.
it's this guy right here. So it just okay.
Oh, that was just like that. What adjustments do you recommend to make for traction rolling? Ooh. It all depends. So tire, if it's open tire, is a good way to stop it. Most races we race anymore are spec tire of some sort.
So when you say tire, I'll unload that a little bit more. So are you saying lower pin, higher pin?
Well, if you're traction rolling, most of the time you're on slicks.
Because of so
I mean,
much, you have
realistic.
so much traction.
Yeah, realistically, you're on slicks or very ghosted tires,
Right.
Because otherwise you don't have that much grip.
Right.
So tire, it would just be like tire compound, or maybe you could like glue the right front. That actually does help because it won't ever stick it.
And
Toe
when
in
you
the
say
right,
front, you're saying glue the sidewall.
yeah, sidewall. You can toe the right rear out more, so it allows the car to get into the corner versus trying to slide. Because essentially a traction roll 90% of the time is the car they're always in yaw. They're always sliding a little bit.
Mhm.
And it's how far can it slide before it catches and flips you. Too much grip, it won't slide as much and you flip. Which is another reason why I say it typically trips over the right rear, because your right front will slide and just slide across the surface. Your right rear will slide and catch, and then it'll flip. Unless you can legitimately traction roll off the right front, but most of the time you're too soft and everything's really weird with that. Getting things offset anytime you're traction rolling, getting more left side weight, whether that's just pulling everything to the left more going to, brass plates here, brass here, putting brass here. You can stack brass over here if you're in a situation where you can't get out of the traction roll situation. Um, you can really play with your roll centers. Like you can really raise like your right front inner. So, which essentially moves. It's weird because RC cars, dirtable RC cars, for whatever reason, work completely ass backwards to what normal thought would be in the front end versus the rear end. Rear end works like a normal car would, to where you can move the roll center to the left and up, and it will resist the roll onto the right rear. Well, you do that same adjustment on the front, and it's like it holds it, and then just dumps all at once. That's the only thing we can come up with. So in the front, ultimately we end up lowering the front roll center or moving it to the right, and it allows the weight to transfer there quicker and easier, but it's not like a hold up and then a dump. That's the only thing we can come up with. And I've talked to several people that are way smarter than me to try to figure it out, and that's pretty much the only viable conclusion that we've came up.
So when you're speeding up that roll center, you're saying you're letting the car get to attitude quicker, and then basically letting the spring do the rest of the work.
Yeah, I mean the what a lot of people do, and to me it's wrong. Like, oh, track is gripped up. Like this car right now has 6s in the front and 5s in the back. First thing they want to do is go to 8s in the back and 7s in the front. But to me, you don't need to stiffen the car. You might want to change the roll speed. So you change shock oil, you go up in shock oil, as long as the track's smooth enough that it doesn't screw you up there.
And to me, when you stiffen the car up, you're just you're actually exaggerating tipping, in my opinion, because now the car's up out of the racetrack even more.
Well,
I mean, you're hoping the idea, right, is you'll get the squat to where you're pushing the car harder into the ground.
Well,
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think a lot of people look at it and they think, okay, well, whenever I go into the corner, I can visually see my car roll to the right side and then flip. So their thought process is, well, if I stiffen everything, it won't do that.
Right.
To a point, that might work.
Right.
But there's also a lot of times you go stiffer springs and you stick that corner of the car harder.
Right, because you're just pushing it harder into the ground, and you're exaggerating.
Yes. Yeah, now there is a breaking point there. So like our foam tire cars, mod sprint foam tire car will run like 16-pound front springs. Okay. Late model, we're up to 30-pound front springs.
Really?
Yeah.
But so what's the track width? Why you're on a way wider track width?
No.
Same.
It's just the tires themselves are completely different. Yeah. And like we could probably get away with a lot of that with this too. Like we could run way stiffer stuff, but most of the time the tracks aren't smooth enough to allow us to run really stiff suspension.
Right.
So I mean, you got to think of a late model. Most of the time we're on a bump stop on the right front. So the spring's completely irrelevant.
Okay.
Wow.
So, okay.
I mean, the spring's only how fast and at what rate you're going to transfer back to the rear to come off of the corner.
And so when you bring that up, something that I'm just not talented enough driving right now, but something I would really like to try is instead of basically arm shims as a stop over on the right front, I want to 3D print like a TPU or something even more to where you can kind of lay on it over there. And I think that would be a great tuning option once I'm able to.
So Axial, the
rock
crawler people, they have like, I don't know if they make them for bump stops or what. I think they actually are. And they have different durometer rated things you can put on there. For me, I've tried it. We used to use fuel tubing all the time. If you really want that more plush feel, like, yeah, you could.
It's a big, fuel line.
I mean, yeah, you could do that, and then have a shorter piece of it, and then still use the clip so you can control.
Sure.
I mean, that's definitely an option. So,
At PRI this weekend, actually, I've seen that the Slade booth, they actually have changed how all their rubbers are now to where it's think diamond shape and a cylindrical.
yep.
Which makes a lot of sense to me too, because then you're creating your center line of, instead of having like the dog, like the Kong style, like a dog chew toy, they went to that. And I think even something like that would be good on this too.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more progressive.
But before our comments get away from us here, you're not a big comment reading guy when you're live, I've noticed. Not too much.
So with my lives, most of the time I am more reel based. So I'm trying to get on and off
Information in and
Yeah. So that's why I don't wait for people to get on. I don't do any of that stuff. I do like how you do your countdown. I would much rather other people do that, because then you're not just staring at somebody waiting for people to come on there. Because it's like a pet peeve of mine.
And Facebook does a really good job of, like, as soon as I go live, I've noticed after it takes about a minute and a half for Facebook to push it to people that Scale Labs is live.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
So let's see here.
We're froze up.
Oh, it'll free itself up. Typically. I'm almost 100% positive everybody can hear us when we do this.
I don't know. I know whenever I watched a couple of times, it would hiccup a little bit, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it
this bad.
Yeah, I've never seen it freeze this bad.
So let's see. Can everybody hear us? Thoughts?
Well, I got this thing. I can just pull it up.
Doug got commented too. If Dustin's gonna come on more, we're gonna have to upgrade our Wi-Fi out here. We got so many people. Yeah, so Draymar can still hear us.
All right.
So let's see. What if we change scenes? If we change scenes, does that help?
No, we're froze up here.
We're froze up. They can hear us though.
Oh, that worked. Change scenes.
So it's camera. It's a camera thing, because we're even froze up here though.
Man, it's camera
Junk.
technical difficulties.
So let's see. Okay, definitely the camera, because I can't go to desk view now either.
I broke it.
Will you
now we have podcasts?
Well, actually, I don't know if I want to unplug it though, because then that's going to take our audio away.
Yeah, don't do that. That'd be bad.
Well, everybody can still see all the comments.
Well, we can hear. So then we can talk through these.
So let's see. Let's see.
We already answered those.
Free lessons.
Nope.
Ben Salazar, what adjustments do you recommend to make for tractor? We just covered that one.
Yeah, we were talking about that one.
Let's see. Brent Clanton. That's what I asked, but when it hits the bumps, when that weight is bouncing up and down with the arm. So we covered those.
Yep. We're using CustomWorks high bite street tracks. If you're allowed to, put them on 2.2 wheels. If you're traction rolling a lot with those, that takes away a lot of the sidewall, which will help. I found that raising the inner front hinge pins and raising the inner rear hinge pin mounts will reduce roll and take side bite out. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you're raising the whole roll center of the entire car. Make foam great again. Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
And now everybody's just telling us second years.
If your springs put more pressure on the tires and we flip faster. Yep. We start flipping and drop the right front interlink to take pressure off of that tire to come forward. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Doug's on. Doug is like arguably probably my best guy whenever it comes to super high bike.
I'm having a freak out.
But that I wouldn't think that would matter, would it?
I wouldn't think.
Because that's not a your end.
Kaylee said now the audio's gone. So just let's unplug this. Now we're back. There we go. Sorry, everybody.
He broke it, not me.
I broke it.
Wasn't me.
See, but this is where it gets crazy. So now we lost 10 people in that whole
Oh yeah. They'll come back.
impatient jerks.
Well, they are RC racers. And based on the demographics of my Facebook page, they're all my age above.
So as soon as it stops
Almost.
working, they're out.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, time for bed. Get off my lawn.
Let's see. So okay, they lost us now. We should be everybody can hear us now, correct? Back. Cool. All right, we're back. And then so did you read this?
I did not. If all else fails, try some J-Con Smoothie 3s. Yep. So if the track is loose, with a higher rate, spring, help plant the tire. If the track is not bumping. Yes, to a point. So I always say that there is a point in which you are going to stick a tire harder until you don't. And that is all tire and track dependent. And you basically just got to play with it. So you can put a stiffer spring on there and it'll stick that tire harder until it doesn't, and then it just pushes. So, or is loose or whatever you're trying to accomplish at that point.
So talking about smoothies, and don't feel obligated to answer. I didn't know Dustin was coming tonight, guys. So does Quasi Speed have any intention?
No.
You're happy with where you're at with
so I looked into it but the problem is like for us to do a true slick tire, the only way I could justify doing it would be enter legitimately try to enter the open tire market with it. And right now, if a track or a big event or whatever wants to run our tire as a spec tire, then you can run the Quasi tire. And then you have the two different flavors of the tire that you want to run.
Because 100% of your intention with Quasi was to be that spec.
Correct.
That spec tire.
Yeah. So like, contrary to some people's belief, I'm not making millions of dollars off of tires.
Right.
Like we sell a fair amount of tires. Most of the tracks actually make more money off the tires than what we do. And that was really the intent of the tire. I asked 3 tire manufacturers to make a tire in one compound and one tread style, and that was it. All 3 of them basically said, not interested. We're doing just fine selling the tires that we're selling. And so I made a tire. And
meaning you weren't even asking the black label them. You just wanted them to do it.
Yeah, I didn't want anything to do with making tires. The tires part's not bad. It's the inserts that suck. And to this day, they still suck because you get one batch that's this way, and then the next batch isn't quite the same. And I mean, it's anybody that has our tires. I would say like that's my number one complaint of our tires is the inconsistency in the foams. And as I learned how they were all made, they're like injection molded, and the temperature and the humidity levels is massive in how it all works and how they come out as far as like the density. And then they ran through a grinding machine to actually cut them, the ground. They're not actually cut. So it's just the whole process of that is a pain. And so therefore, like, I'll just stay in my lane of like, this is what we're doing. And I'll let those guys that are making slicks compete in that market. And if you're a track that needs to run slicks, realistically, our tire is probably not the best tire for it anyway. and I would have to go so far away. It's not as simple as just making our tire a slick, because our tire as a slick is still not the preferred slick tire. I'm going to let a cat out of the bag with like trackside dual race. More than likely is not going to be on our tire this year. I talked to Jamie and said, hey, I suggested a different tire, mainly because what we found last year with our tire at that race, it was, you could do certain things to it and it would be good the first run. You could run as many times as you want, but your absolute best that tire was going to be was that first run.
Right.
And I didn't want to be in a situation where we're at a race and I'm at a race with everybody and we're making our low tread tires complete slicks and then running them once and then setting them on a shelf and run them another day.
Right.
So I'm 99% sure he's going to switch to a different tire.
Because when they convert that track to oval, like they don't have a dedicated oval on a dedicated off-road track, right?
They do.
Oh, they do. Okay.
They have a dedicated foam tire track.
Okay.
And then they have the dedicated off-road. They take the off-road and make it into an oval.
Yeah.
But the dirt that they have there, it marbles up. It just sticks to itself so much that they can't, there's no way to make it loose.
Like how a Infinity would have done, kind of, or even tighter than that, way tighter than Infinity.
I honestly, I was at Infinity for like a half hour one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Trying to think of another play because Infinity's more like Brad's. Brad's dirt and Infinity's dirt, I think, are pretty similar.
Okay.
So the Brad's like fine like that.
It's probably more like Brick House if you've been there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How? Okay.
So it's like it just really, really sticks to itself.
Gotcha.
So,
but it stays somewhat loose where you can run a dirty tire.
No.
So you're
you
going
run slicks. Okay. Yeah. You take our low tread tire and make them into slicks. Gotcha. So last year was nice because we had low treads to make into slicks. The year before that, we didn't have low treads. We were taking the full tread tire and making it into slicks. Yeah, CJ Greaves brought a belt sander in, and that's what we were using. So we're using a belt sander to sand the tires now.
Cool.
There's got to be comments in here.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch.
Lopez, sand down, easy enough, good slick. Kind of look like a millionaire. I wish. Yes, inserts are inconsistent with all manufacturers. That's why I feel bad because I'm a racer and I'm not a huge fan of ours being inconsistent, but then I get other brands and I realize where it's not too bad. I don't know where he just got up and left. I don't know where he's going.
These visual working and taking of inserts and stuff that we're talking about.
I don't want to show them off. I want to highlight them. You know that's not sealed, right? All you have to do is open it. You don't have to tear it.
No kidding. Learn something every day.
Yeah. It's a good looking insert, right? Justin Draymire. He's the one that
doesn't Justin cut foam for a living? Or he used to?
He does, but he's like the head guy in charge now. He's not just the
HMFIC.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He's not just the arts and crafts guy in the toolbox division anymore. So, leisure hours and impact dirt is like trackside.
So I've been to leisure hours back. I don't know if leisure is. I don't even know if leisure hours is still leisure hours when I went. They had a pretty cool indoor track when I was still living in Peoria.
I think we need pre-mount tires. Go Fast Raceway offers them, or Go Fast Hobbies offers pre-mounts. Rotoron offers pre-mounts. I think it's it. You being a team guy are not getting pre-mounts off of our website. I can promise you that, unless you can sweet talk Sweet Pea into doing it for you. That's it. Justin, he's rolling his eyes at us.
Eric Levy says, "Do you like your tires for spec racing?" So I'm assuming.
No, he says, "I do like."
Oh, he does.
Yeah, no, that's why we designed them, honestly.
Was that 13.5 racer in mind? Was kind of the Or are you saying
Oh,
the
no.
spec from
Just
the mod side?
just a spec tire in general.
Yeah.
I honestly there's races I don't go to because they're open tire. Just because whenever you ask, hey, what tire do we need there? You get 12 different answers from 4 different people.
Well, then so I was having this conversation the other day with somebody because I think that I could justify or have a conversation competing for both. And I think I can give good reasoning for both of why it makes sense.
I would love to hear your reasoning for why an open tire makes sense.
Well, I lean more towards the spec tire side, and
I know, but
I get shit for that.
I want to hear the open tire.
Well, the open tire side is, in my mind, the way you look at it is from you're going to bring in, or you have the opportunity to bring in more people. So if you have a guy that's coming in that runs sprinters everywhere he goes, right? Well, then that guy is going to do the same thing you just said, where you look to not go to places if it's an open tire. Well, that guy may look on the total other end of the spectrum. I think there are guys who only have quasis, right? And if it's open tire, and they don't care, they don't care performance, they just want to go and race.
Fine.
I don't think they're going to go buy more. I think there's more guys that would do that than guys that are willing to buy 15 sets of tires to go to a race. Because you don't know that number. You don't know who's going to come.
I see what you're saying, but I would argue that anytime I go to any racetrack, I ask what tires are the best tire if it's open. And then I make my decision if I'm going to go there. I would never go to a track that's an open tire race and go, well, I got my quasis and I got my sprinters and I got my this. I should be good.
Knowing that arrays are the best there.
Yeah, because I might get there and raw speed tires might be the best tire.
Right.
And if I didn't know it, I'm out to lunch the whole time. So I think you could get a newer racer that is naive to the fact of how important tires are. You could get those guys to travel to another track on an inferior tire.
That's probably me right now, right? I get that.
Well, because you know these tires and you know how they work.
Right.
And you're comfortable with those. So you can go to an open tire race and you might feel like you're okay with that. But like 4 rocks, if we go there and that's open tire, well, first of all, if I can run slicks, I'm going to run slicks. And I'm probably going to run hot race tires. If I had to guess, a hot race white. And I would start off with an ellipse green, ghosted down.
Has 4 Rocks announced that it's not a spec tire anymore?
No, I think they're keeping it spec tire from what I was told. Yeah. Because if I the 4 Rocks race that we were at, if that were open tire, I would have been on green ellipses that were ghosted down, and I probably they would have been junk after every run. They would have been 25, 35 lap, however long our heat races were. I would have bolted new ones on every race. Well, I was running 3 classes, and I would have done that every single time.
I know I ghosted tires I had on every time my car was on the track too.
Yeah, so I had my tires were all tires that I had ran a lot. They're all my full tread tires that I had ran quite a bit before, and they had dope in them at different events, so they were softer than normal. And I was ghosting off the right rear, not completely, but to the point that they're really only good for another track condition like that.
Right. Yep.
But I tried to run a low tread tire and I couldn't get away with it. Now, a low tread tire in a different compound or a slick in a different compound at that track probably could have got away with it.
Because so when you're saying you went to a low tread and You had so much traction at that point that it was too much.
No, I had no traction.
Okay.
With a low tread.
So you were so
it
basically
wasn't enough because it was too dusty.
So there wasn't enough traction, but the track was so abrasive that it put you in this like weird bubble, is what you're saying. So from the hay and all that that's undoubtedly in the ground.
Yeah. Because I mean that's the thing is that track is like sandpaper.
Right.
So I know people were complaining about the tire wear, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. These tires were wearing. Just imagine what a green ellipse is going to do.
Right.
And a green ellipse is going to be 2/10 a lot faster. So everybody goes faster, the traction roll more, and you 100% junk a set of tires every time, like a full set, not like just a right rear. Right. You junk all of them.
Yeah. I mean, Raw's kind of that way. Raw's a tire eating machine.
Yep.
But then you go to like slideways, right? And I don't think you could burn a tire off at slideways. At least the last couple times I was there.
No.
So.
No, like it's like PTs most of the time.
Yeah, two PTs that have tire wear.
You don't have really tire wear. I mean, it can get to the point, but most of the time it doesn't. So
cool. So if I can put a vote in, Brett Land right there, I agree with that. I would like
4 wheels, 4 tires, 1 package.
Not okay. So maybe I rewrite that wrong. But I would like to vote on wheels. Can we buy just 2 rear wheels?
Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me with that. So
I have 4 rear wheels.
So no, I actually looked at the analytics on this. I'm not going to say the numbers that we've sold, but all of the volume of tires that we've sold 60 pair more rears than fronts. So everybody keeps telling me that I reuse the fronts all the time, but I think it's like 10 guys in central Indiana, Illinois area that's doing it.
Interesting.
Because I don't do it. That's
when you put a new set of rears on, you put a new set of
I have a set of tires. Because they've had the same amount of runs, the same amount of prep. I tried that at Four Rocks because Murphy was like, no, just put a new set of rears on it. You'll be fine. Fronts are fine. So I put it on there, and all I was doing was doing donuts because my fronts worked and the rears didn't. Because those were soft and prepped and the rears were new. So it was terrible. So guys that get away with that, guys that do it, more power to you. Because like I said, I legitimately looked at the analytics to see, because I was like, if that's a big number difference between fronts and rears that we're selling,
right,
then yeah, it makes sense to do that. Because we've talked about doing it, because we talked about going to like 4 and 4. So you had 4 fronts and 4 rears. That's how most of the wheel companies are doing it.
Right.
The problem with doing that is you got to make a changeover at some point, and then your hobby shops it affects them more so than it does. Because for us on our website, we can just change it in our inventory, we're fine. But now they had full sets to now they have 4 and 4. So that's why we haven't been doing it that way.
I know.
As far as like 4 tires in one package,
I've never seen anybody do
it's just space. I mean, your bag has to be so much bigger to do it. And then honestly, like how they get shipped and how the packaging is, I think we would just end up with really, really smashed up and messed up bags and packaging and tires and inserts, and it'd just be a nightmare.
Yeah. And if you click on those comments, it'll actually show up on the screen as well.
So if I click this,
so you click on that, now it pops up.
Boom! Look at that. See, I just showed them everything.
Boom.
Spec tire, you have multiple tires with shed heights, like we do with sprinters. Spec tire, you have to have. I mean, to a point, yes. Sprinters are their own unique challenge. Yeah, Doug, like you said. So Doug says, well, I'll let you read it, so I don't have to read it. A lot of the tracks out west are all open tire. The tracks around here, almost all of them are spec tire.
Like we're the weird ones though, right? Because then when you go south, it goes back to open, right? Oklahoma's all those guys.
Yeah,
It's all
west.
open.
Whenever you go west, it's all open.
What about like Carolinas, things like that? Florida, Ron John, and those guys.
Yeah, they're open, but again, those are tracks that are all high bite. So, I mean, in my opinion, whenever you're on high bite and you're on slicks, you might as well be on open tire. Like, because you're not. Most people that are on slicks have a certain brand of slick that you want. It's not like a treaded tire to where the tread pattern and all that stuff makes a huge difference.
But there, you're also not, like you said, you'd be 3/10 quicker on ellipses at 4-rocks, right?
Yeah.
You're not on a slick tire. You're not going to be 3/10 for the most. I mean, for the majority of that, right? Or you think compound's that big of a difference?
So like off road at trackside, hot race versus a couple of the other brands, yeah, there's a couple tenths difference.
And if they're
Yeah.
hot race is soft versus J-Con soft or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So like, I know, I'm pretty sure it's J-Con struggles a little bit at trackside now, and like the hot race tire is really good, and the Proline tires are almost as good. It's just the hot race tire for whatever reason works really, really well there. So, but then like you flip side to that, I think like Who's Your Hobby? I think I want to say that, yeah,
Or not Proline, Promotion.
well, I think that's for their big race, but like their off-road track, I think you end up with, I think J-Con is actually the preferred tire there versus the hot race tire is a little bit off the speed there. So they all have their place.
We got a premium setup. Are your toesies cold too? Check this out. Light your feet on fire.
Holy cow. He's turned on a ball warmer. Throw some Hoosiers on it, Sam.
Old Donnie Montgomery. He's a buddy of mine from back in Peoria. Hell of a he's a big car spec race guy. Him and his son race B mods around Central Illinois. Badasses.
They figured out track prep, so we shouldn't need tires as much at the Rumble.
I don't think they took hay out of it, Andrew.
I'll be curious to see that. Hopefully they did.
I think we take 5 gallons of goat piss and just dunk our tires in all of them in the parking lot. And then it'll link up with what's already in the dirt. Call it good.
PTs and slideways, the foam seems to wear out after a few race days, long before the tread does. It's nice to run them for a while. Yeah.
The body bill at slideways is more than the tire bill.
How do you decide what compound manufacturer and prep to use at what time? Well, manufacturer and compound is, if it's a spec, obviously that's handled. It's knowledge. I mean, honestly, it's having ran enough of the tires at enough different times to see what tire works good for you and your program and what track conditions they are. Same with prep. I mean, prep, I think you can get away with running either no prep or Papa Willie's Red. I'll plug them just because it's what I run most of the time. Most of the time you can get away with running just that one prep. They do have some other prep, and then other people have prep. Like Ryan Ralph has a prep that is on high bite, like a drier track that's gripped up. I haven't found anything that's as good as that. So that's what I run whenever I run that stuff. So it's just experience.
Ryan, with all his videos, I'd like to get him on here too sometime. That'd be
Oh, oof. Sets only, no matter what tire, never mix. Unpredictable. I'm on Team Doug Gott right there. I don't. There is more in that comment. I don't know. Hot race. So yeah, so hot race and Proline are the best at trackside. Jay Con is struggling right now. Chris says hi.
Dustin's just like clicking on all the comments. He just likes to watch it.
You ever use tire warmers at any track? Chili Bowl, if the track's gripped up, or I'm changing my mind on what tire late I'm going to use and I need to get prep in it, or I'm just behind the 8 ball on getting prep into a tire. That's typically the only time I really use tire warmers, is just to get prep down into them quick.
There's quite a few guys at 4 Rocks that ran.
I have 4 Rocks. I could see. I had them out.
Yep.
Yep. I had them out. Had them on a set of tires, and then never ran them.
It also didn't help though that the heater that was right by us didn't turn on or was broke.
Yeah. So this guy. Yeah, Brett, I already seen that. We already discussed that, bro.
These are just recon.
Get me 4 tires and wheels in one package. Order pre-mounts from somebody, and then maybe they'll come that way.
Oh, Tom's here.
Who can do the best donuts on that 4-wheeler?
Me. I don't know. I'm gonna take the 0 turn.
I was gonna say I'd take the 0 turn. You can't see the 0 turn, but he's got one of those over here.
You could rip some good ones on the pallet jack too, probably. If I knew we were gonna have a local celebrity in, I would have cleaned up a little bit. I've got a pig sty or a chicken sty in here.
I was gonna say, why would you have a chicken coop in here?
My wife's threatened to leave me if I let the chickens stay out the boat. So I had to take care of her chickens.
Oh. I would have had chicken for dinner.
Well, we got one that's an ass. The other 2, and I just about did the chicken for dinner. JP would pay to see. Oh,
Holy crap, it's 9:20.
Time goes by quick.
Good thing I don't have a long drive home.
Good.
You had a nice shot.
Not bad. It's getting there. What's hilarious is 4 months ago. Well, you've seen it before though too, yeah.
Yep. You gave a public service announcement to get these lights out of here, but yeah, you saw the lights.
So speaking of JB helped me actually.
Yeah.
So the reason.
Wait a minute, JV helped you?
JB helped me. So I greased them all and I haven't had an issue since.
Oh. So a little
Inside-
dielectric grease.
Yep. So
Created some insulation for you.
Yep.
Look at JV go.
But yeah, so JB was actually a big help in that. That doesn't sound like me.
Or
I think I
you
did that.
offered they
Don't listen. Nobody listen to her.
come into the warm shop.
Nope.
So I'm gonna have to make this.
Dogs can
Everybody's
sleep
got to
outside.
see this.
Dogs can sleep.
Everybody's
outside.
got to see this.
Why is she on YouTube?
I don't know. Maybe she.
Who is that? I don't even know who that is. Chicks.
Yeah. Maybe she's
Ma'am, I'm married, so good for
manufacturing collaboration.
what are we going to collaborate on?
Hey, I send the guy an idea this weekend. I come in today and it's not done. What can I say?
That's fair. And I kind of foobarred it as soon as you sent it with my idea. So
Yeah, I sent him an idea.
And
He immediately sends me an idea back. It's like, well, what about this? I'm like, well, that's not cool. It actually is cool, but it's just not what I had in my mind. Fancy grease. Wait, you're on Eastern time zone. That's weird. How is that weird? We're in Indiana.
we can't control that.
No. Man, we need a chicken on a pole in the background so we can. Where's your wedding ring?
What?
I don't wear them.
See? See, I get so much shit from her about that.
Mine is in my toolbox and it's been there for 20 years. It's at my shop in my toolbox and it's been there for 20 years. So
We got married on December 1st, 2 years ago.
bro, it's been 2 years. It can't be that bad.
2 years ago.
I
And
can't remember.
I had coolant. I got coolant underneath it one time for the day.
Yeah, I
And
got
I
you
was like,
irritation.
I'm good.
Yeah, no. I wore mine to my shop 2 days and wore it home. The third day, I took it off, put it in the drawer, and it's been in that drawer since. So I know exactly where it is,
Same way.
but don't wear it.
Oh, we're friggin' look at that. We're nationwide. We're in California. This guy's in California.
Who?
Ben's in California.
Ben's in California.
Ryan, what's the what count are we up to on a Wednesday night? You got over under on where Ryan's at for Bud Heavies before he answers. Over under.
Yeah, I have no
we
idea.
We do this every episode.
I haven't.
I'm gonna say over 6.
That seems like a lot.
Bud Heavies too.
It's a Bud Heavy.
Budweiser. Red can. The most American beer, some may say.
Oh, 2.
Those are rookie numbers.
Hey, I'd be.
Dustin and I said more than that. What we've said here. I don't even drink.
Anybody that knows me knows that that's not the case. All right. Most of the tracks here in California use DE phenoms because we're street tracks, but it seems the West Coast nats every year different tire. Just tired of that. Yeah. If you're on slicks, just run slicks.
I have a couple sets of phenoms over there to go in brick house.
You don't know Ryan good enough. Tyler left the shop early today.
How many are you on, Tyler? You have to leave work early.
He was painting a body over there. I'm still working.
Must be nice.
It was ridiculous. I watch him leave every day. Actually, that's not true. He watches me leave every day.
Probably ought to get my wife off here.
Why? Oh, you didn't.
Oh hell! Now she's back on.
She's on again.
Oh god!
See, you clicked that.
Brent,
That's
you're the lucky
hilarious.
man.
West Coast net bubblegums. I think he means raw speed bubblegum tires.
See, they got acquired or sold or whatever in recently.
Who?
Raw.
Oh yeah,
Jason sold it.
working, bro. Whenever you show up and you see the order that is completely unboxed and organized, you'll think otherwise. G's either gonna love me or hate me in the morning. I don't know which.
Parts and everything. How many unique packages is a normal day for you guys?
As far as like shipping packages,
Yeah. I don't want you to have to get a specific for kids and stuff.
no. I mean, I don't know, 150-ish probably at the beginning of the week, and that tapers off to maybe 30 to 50 by the end of the week.
So I mean, that's good numbers though. I would think.
I mean, it's enough. We have 3 full-time employees. That's really all they do. So I'm behind. Had to go to Brad's and get Chili Bowl stuff.
So he'll catch up.
Only one way to catch up is go faster.
I'm excited for this weekend. I've got a bunch of controller changes I'm gonna make.
Oh, where is your controller? I'm going to try to fix this guy's twitchiness. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try. What's that? Probably not going to work.
I was talking to Kaylee about that today.
Look, look at the back end right there.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Kaylee?
But she's pumped about it.
She's on board.
Oh yeah.
I like it. People are raw won't like it because, well, I guess if they don't like me, they'll like it.
Well, I certainly don't want to step on anybody, you know.
Well, you know what? You're an hour and a half away, so holy cow! What is this radio? M12.
The best.
Kaylee, he needs to upgrade in his radio.
I almost bought a Fly Sky there.
I mean, if you like this, get another one of these. Just get the M17.
I always like Futaba stuff, but I don't want to pay for the freaking.
Futaba?
I don't want to have to buy
They're so slow.
the what you call
Bro. Where? This is nowhere near the same as an M17. Now, the stuff might be in here.
it. What are you looking for?
I'm looking
Feel?
for the feel,
The
the feeling.
so go get out of that,
How do I get out of that
button,
back?
and then I think it's in there. So hit select, hit the center wheel, and that'll select that, and then now you can go through. There it is.
So they basically have 6 levels in this. Throttle's fine. Well, we're gonna try that. That's your mod late model. Do you have to do it with both?
Yeah. Spinning
How do
it.
I change.
So then you go to model.
I don't know how to go to model.
Keep going over system.
Huh?
System.
Here, you just do it. I don't know how to use that thing.
It does seem vigorously complicated.
All right, what is
You did
this?
late model already?
Yeah. What color is your car is going to be this year at the Chili Bowl? They're white,
Kaylee, that's a
yellow, and black. All right. You see it right here. She supports the track. So I'm going to press this guy.
Here's what we can't have happen. Number one, everybody can't come and be jerks all the time.
We'll kick them out if they're jerks.
And number two, so I'm going to mark corns it really hard.
Absolutely.
And then number two is my business is here. So if like I can't put my business in jeopardy.
No, I did not bring Sam a new hoodie. He never ordered one.
Yeah, what the heck?
I would get yelled at if I brought you one.
By who?
G, have you met G?
No. She seems very nice.
She is very nice.
Steering, would you put it on? Would you put it on Forest? Would you put sprint car?
4.
Late one.
Yeah, 4.
So HS is what? High speed?
High speed.
4 speed?
So it'd be like level 6.
What's going to prevent me from spinning out on corner exit?
Your trigger finger. Or car setup. Or
I think my
all
cars
of the
are
above.
My cars are cool.
KO radios are legit. I loved my KOs. I ran KOs for 10 to 15 years. Absolutely loved them.
When I first met you, you had one. I don't like.
Yep.
I thought you were weird for it.
So I started having some issues with my KO. So that's where I switched. Don't support the radio upgrades. Support the track. Pick one.
M12
I'll make it.
M12 it is.
I'll make you a deal. You put in a track, I will upgrade his radio. How's that for a deal? What's up, guys? Sorry, just getting here late. Been hanging with the kiddos. Don't ever apologize for hanging with your kids.
Family's always first.
I actually left. Me being the super nice dad that I am. So I left, and I was actually planning on playing Call of Duty tonight.
Oh,
But
yeah.
My daughter's home from college. My youngest daughter and her were, my youngest was on my computer, and they were playing some game together. One was upstairs on the Xbox, one was downstairs on my computer. So I figured I'd do this and be nice. Jeff Schindler, I'm going to show everybody his comment because it's a solid comment. Not sure what it's supposed to mean, but he commented.
Yes.
How many t-shirts are you going to sell this year at the Chili Bowl running the high side? High side, as Ryan Roth would say. So, on the brass to help with traction, brass on left rear, car is loose on exit, black, brass on left rear. Car doesn't want to turn in, move weight to front, or add brass. I guess most of this is common sense. Yeah, pretty much. Put brass where you want the weight. Sounds like Sam needs a Tommy Craighead Speedo tune. Might be 2/10 slower, but won't spin out.
So I'm 2/10 slower and spin out.
So you could run Expo in your throttle, but I'm just not a fan of Expo and throttle for sure. Expo in the steering is something that I actually do run it and mess with it some on my off-road buggy, but I never do it in oval because I want.
You're talking the curve. You're talking the curve, right?
Yeah, the exponential rate. So it's your curve. So you can change your throttle curve. And basically, essentially what you're doing is putting a bigger dead zone at the beginning of your throttle. I mean, essentially.
But you could also do that with delay on the ESC, can you? Which is just
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would just program it all in the ESC and leave the radio at 100 and just a linear.
Well, so I was thinking about that too, but then if it's way out to lunch or something, then you can't tune yourself out of it, like where you can with the.
Well, how far out to lunch are you going to make yourself? You do it.
You've seen me at 4 blocks. It was
yeah,
pretty
but
bad.
you do it in practice, and then you figure it out in practice. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Speed controller settings are not something that you should be changing nonstop.
Yeah.
In theory.
That's right.
When am I coming back to Eastern North Carolina to race? I don't know. Sarah Dew keeps driving me nuts that I need to come down and race at World of RC. So I might try to do that sometime this spring. Drive frequency up. Absolutely. Yeah, you can run the drive frequency quite a bit up in the speed controller.
See, and I've got it so screwed up too with, like, I've got my dual rates, how I've been trying to counteract everything currently.
Well, dual rates is nothing more than your endpoint, really. So I was happy to see that you actually set your steering endpoints correctly. A lot of people don't set their endpoints correctly, in my opinion.
So Ryan talked about this with me on the last stream, and where I've totally screwed this up, and everybody should actually know this because I'm sure I'm not the only one that does it. I set on the bench. First thing I do is set my endpoints, and then
you don't
trim
adjust
it.
after
Then I
you
trim it straight, and then I don't go back and adjust it.
How do you set your camber? You set your camber with your steering straight and turn your car turned on, or do you set it with the?
I set it with the car turned on.
Okay, as long as you're doing it with the car turned on after you've trimmed it.
But well, again though, I didn't re-trim it, or I'm sorry,
No.
I trimmed it and then I didn't re-endpoint it. So then I'm always wondering why my shit's all messed up. Well, because I'm trimmed out so much.
Yeah, you just lost left
Right,
steering.
I lost everything.
So for me, a lot of people like, I have my cars to where they drive pretty straight. I don't necessarily like them I don't really want them trimmed to the wall, and I don't really want them trimmed to the left. I want them to just go pretty much straight. But like in a race, if I need more steering, because I most of the time have 100% dual rate unless I'm on high bike. But like PTs, I'm almost always at 100% dual rate on my steering. So
Only sprint car.
no, lately
Like
all
too?
the cars,
Really?
yeah. Even my midget, whenever I was for the midget race, I had 100% dual rate. I just don't use all of it.
Okay.
So, and there's a window in which I like to use. So while I'm driving, I can't roll dual rate into it. I'm not talented enough. The buttons aren't good enough
Shit, I didn't even think about doing that.
for me to be able to roll dual rate into it.
I can't even drive normal.
So I will put left trim in it if I need more steering or less steering.
While you're driving?
While I'm driving. I'll
So
put
you're
left
left.
trim in.
So you're trying to-
Yeah, so whenever you have a hold of the radio, like I hold it like this, and then I can.
Better be closer for somebody that way, or
Okay, so like while I'm driving, I can turn the wheel, and then I can push or pull either one. So if I shove it forward, I'm putting right trim in it. If I'm pulling it back, it's putting left trim in it. So that's how I would. Is it here?
Yep.
So that's how I would actually add or take away steering, because I'm still going to use the same window of steering. And even if my endpoint is set at 100%, I very seldom ever make it to full lock on the radio. So my car might not track down the straightaway straight anymore for that race, but I'll have more or less steering available that way. So most of the time it's whenever I'm trying to add more steering into the car.
Because I have my stuff. I like my stuff to go straight too. But like I know Justin Atkinson, like he's almost, it feels like at least like he's almost full lock to the right going on a backstretch.
Yeah, so like if I'm racing carpet oval, I'll basically turn right down the straightaway and come back to center and then turn. I'll let it do its thing that way. Mainly because in carpet oval, you don't ever really want the car to come out on up the track and come back down. You really paperclip carpet oval cars. So that helped me with that.
Because that's Bill's deal, right?
Yeah, my brother's really good at that. I'm good at driving them. Suck at every other aspect of them. Are you guys ever going to make it to Little Crocker in Georgia? I would love to, but
that place seems sick.
It seems amazing. Honestly, there's a handful of tracks. Little Cochrane's that way. Rennes track, Lighton. It's this way. Triple H is this way. They're all in that like 6 to 8 hour drive window. That just sucks. Like they're too close to fly to, too far away that I want to drive to. So it makes it to where I'm not a huge fan of wanting to go to it.
I made this the other day. We can share this on the screen. I'm sure you have something like this too.
If it's an Excel spreadsheet of where things are, I guarantee I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have any of that.
So this, and I mean, I've even got it down to the minutes from my house.
Well, that's ridiculous. Where's the closest one? Sort that by the closest. I want to see what the closest ones are.
The closest one's
Jammers.
Jammers. But even closer than that's NDRC. And then
that one doesn't count though.
Outlaw is actually the closest of all.
But it's massive. Is that the massive track?
Outlaw's big, I think. But
yeah,
you're thinking of Eminem, aren't you? Eminem's huge too.
No, I think it's Outlaw.
In Martinsville?
Yeah. Because the track's so big, it's like it doesn't translate to anything. Because they talked to me, they wanted me to go there.
Speaking of carpet oval, Darlington's.
Yeah,
Darlington's by far the closest.
Yes.
Anyway.
What else we have? Holy cow. You get all kinds of people actually ask questions.
Yeah.
I guess I do too.
Well, it helps that you're on here for sure. Normally it's not.
Well, that's sketchy.
20 or so people's typically average for this deal.
Well, we won't. Hopefully they'll stick around and come back next week. Racing the Mud Boss Shootout with us or just the Chili Bowl. I will be at the Mud Boss Shootout. Are you going to that? You going to the Chili Bowl? Did you get it in?
No. I need to email Scotty apparently.
Oh, yeah. Email Scotty. I haven't decided if I'm going to race it. I'm going to be there with the trailer. I haven't decided if I'm going to race it.
I offered to go with you and help with the trailer so you could do your thing and you never tested back.
Oh, I didn't? I must have missed that because I don't remember you ever offering.
Also, when you showed up here, I called you and texted you several times and you're mad at me that I wasn't here.
Oh, no, I probably was doing something at the time and saw it. And then I get enough texts that I don't remember.
That's fair.
Any of that. I'm terrible with that. Trust me.
I'm going to send carrier pigeon your way.
Well, you wouldn't go that far. World of RC is my home track. That's a nice facility. And they cleaned it up. I saw a video yesterday or today. But they cleaned it up quite a bit. Drive frequency. Is it higher the number, the softer it is? Yes. So I don't know exactly what it's doing. I just know that you run that number up higher and the softer and smoother it is. What's your opinion on rear steer? It steers the car.
All of it.
Not all of it. You, Dennis, I think you run a lot of, I could be wrong. I think you've been running 13.5 stuff recently. And in that case, yeah, probably more all of it than just because you don't have the power to spin the car out.
We're going to get Scale Lab shirts, and it's just going to have the Scale Lab logo, and it's just going to say all of it across the chest.
A lot of rear steering. How are you setting front toe, etc.? So front toe, I just kind of eyeball it anyway. But yeah, all that stuff with everything, you have to trim the car first and then kind of see where everything is. And that's whenever I set my cambers and everything after I've trimmed the car.
An interesting topic for you is, how do you feel about the invite class at Chillywood?
I love it and I don't love it all at the same time. So what I love about it, okay, so I'll look at it from my personal racing experience. So for me as a racer, as somebody at the level of somebody that's in the invite class, I love it because every race I'm in that whole week is an A main. So it's really, really hard. I don't have to worry about getting taken out by somebody that's just trying to be there, have a good time, don't really care how they're doing, have had way too many drinks that day. So I don't like getting taken out by drunk drivers at an RC race.
That's an issue. I've never been.
It's not really an issue. I'm
That's
just saying
hilarious.
that.
I feel like that's an inside joke. That's hilarious.
It's happened before. But and then I also feel for the guys that are there that are just not at that level, and they do get into some of the faster guys, and they feel like they feel bad for ruining their day. It sucks for, and so that's what I like about it. What I dislike about it is it does dilute the prestige of winning a Chili Bowl in any other class but invite now. Because you inherently know that you didn't beat the top guys.
Right.
Is it still insanely hard to win? Absolutely.
In any class.
In any class. So it does suck that like they don't, like the general, everybody doesn't get the opportunity to race against the top guys, or the invite guys, I guess. Guys and girls.
Can those guys and girls also run open, or
No.
if you're invite, you can't?
No, we can't run any open classes at all. So we have to only run invite. But what I like about it is that that's only one race. It's one race a year that has it. Right. So it's kind of like the whole Reedy race. Like, yeah, everybody went to go race the Reedy race, and they knew they weren't going to get to race against the invite guys, but they also knew that, a month later they could go to the INS race or whatever roar race or any of the other big off-road race, and they could race against the top guys. So, I mean, whenever you really look at it, you got 51 weeks a year to race against the top guys. Yeah, can you get all of the top guys together at one time? It doesn't happen that often, but you can get a good chunk of the top guys together a couple times a year at different events.
Right.
So,
because I mean, your heavy hitters, right? I mean, the heavy hitters, Chili Bowl, Motorama. Would you call this potentially 4 Rocks one if they're having that 400 entries? And I mean
4 Rocks
emerging.
Yeah, 4 Rocks has potential to become another one of those. It was kind of like the I-44 race had potential to become a really big race Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and those guys are actually they're no longer even have a track. But like the Four Rocks race could become one. Like the West Coast Nationals that they have in Bakersfield, California at Rainman's. It was a 300 plus entry race that a lot of the at least all the good West Coast guys were at that.
Right.
And then they had some of the guys from different parts of the country there.
But that's high bite, right?
Yeah, that's high bite. Yeah. So, and then you have like the Arizona races getting better. It's
hobby action.
Yeah. So when you run a lot of rear steer of the card, you center up the bell crank after tracking the card. I just leave the bell crank centered up based off of the cars going straight, the tires being straight.
Make sure you set your endpoints after you trim the car straight. I don't do that. I haven't done that.
You will be burnt out before the Chili Bowl if you race the shootout. That's why I won't be racing it, but we'll be there. Zach, and that's my biggest thing. I was talking to Jamie today about it. It's like, I don't know that I want to be in race mode for that many days in a row. I think if there were mod classes at the shootout to where it was like it would actually like translate over, I would probably do it. But since it's 13.5 and I'm not a huge fan of racing 13.5 stuff anyway, I'm probably just going to work the trailer. I could put up a big blind thing on the trailer and then show up at like 10 o'clock every morning if I wanted to, and leave at like 6 o'clock if I wanted to. Probably won't, but I had that option. So speaking of Sarah Dew, AKA Pinky, she's laughing at something. No idea what she's laughing at, but she's laughing at something.
Feels like that could potentially be a good happy medium for invite and things like that. Would be, could you run the invite guys during the Mud Boss deal? But then you're not. I mean, I don't understand how there's going to be all these people down there and how people are getting off work for 2 consecutive weeks, and that seems.
Well, I mean, you own your own business, so A, you're a millionaire, and B, you have all the time to take off in the world. What's the problem?
You get
I
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, and I wouldn't do anything else.
I feel that. Yeah, there's definitely some people that are going to be there for like a week and a half. I mean, I think so. I have a weird perspective on this because I was a racer that like used to take vacation days to go race RC cars. And then now I go to a lot of races where people are taking vacation days to race their RC cars, and it's work for me. So it's completely, I just have a completely different view on all of that stuff now.
Right.
Because, most people go to the Chili Bowl. It's their vacation. It's their time to hang out with their buddies, and they love the really long days and all of that. And I'm the opposite. I mean, anybody that races around here knows that I'm very known for packing up and leaving early. And I think at first some of the track owners and some of the guys kind of took it personal of like, oh, well, he's not happy, or, I'm not this or that. And then I think they finally realized that it was like, most of the time I go to a race, I'm there to practice at club shows and, regional events and stuff like that. I'm typically there for practice or testing something. And then by the time it comes to the racing portion of it, I look at it completely different than, like you do. Like you go there, you want to go and you want to have fun and you want to race and you want to compete in the A main and see how you do. I look at it as I'm running 2 classes. There's 50 lap A mains. I'm going to be in those, or the B main is 30 laps, whatever main I'm in. I'm essentially going to be on the track 2 more times, but I have to wait the amount of time it's going to take me to drive home. I have to wait to run that again. And then I got to drive home.
Right.
For me doing it as a job and everything, I just soon go home.
Right.
Cause I mean, more than likely I'm not going to learn much more that day.
You've been there. You got what you needed to get done, achieved. Get that.
Yep. I clocked in. And it's time to clock out.
Right. I get that.
So
like even like raw, for example, that feels like that's work for you when you take the trailer up there.
Yeah. I mean, it's still fun. So it's like I enjoy my job.
Right.
So it's not like it's work.
Right.
It's not like I have a job that's pressing and I'm behind on it and I got a customer upset because of it. It's, it's a different type of work, but it's still work.
Right.
There are days when it's more, okay, I'm not really testing anything today. I'm just going to go race and have a good time racing. So do you feel like it's fine to get stuck in the invite program for winning a class that's not even raced in the invite class, talking Midwest Mod, for those who don't know? That is one that I was kind of curious and kind of confused as to why that was pulled in. I think it was pulled in and used just because it's considered the third tier, like if you tier the classes, Outlaw Sprint, Late Model, those are like 1A, 1B, essentially. And then your Midwest Mod is that next tier. So I don't know. I think they kind of looked at it as enough of the top guys are running that. And whenever I say guys, I mean guys and girls. So don't beat me up over that.
If you can win in Midwest Mod, you can likely win in a late model or sprint.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially if you look back at the history of the people that have won that. I had a huge spreadsheet done at one point for that race, just because I was asked how certain things were working and I didn't know. And then there were some people that were complaining, well, I'm not on it. I'm not an invite. And this guy's an invite. I don't understand. So I was basically trying to check the validity of their complaint. And a couple of people had valid reasons to be like, hey, why is he in there? I've done historically better than what he has at the Chili Bowl.
Right.
And where they were right. I think it happened to be like they had to create a cutoff of some sort. And I think ultimately what it was, they took past champions back to like 2019, if I remember right, in those three classes. And then anybody that made the main in Outlaw Sprint or Late Model, maybe even Midwest Mod, that had made the A main the year before. So that's how the invite, that's how the invite class was created.
Gotcha.
So, I think my personal opinion on that is if people don't want to run invite, I don't think you have to. Like, I think I could say, hey, I don't want to run invite. And I could just bow out of it and then go back.
And run open.
I think. I don't know. I look at it as a privilege.
It's the elite of the elite.
Yeah, I mean, we all race hard, and we want to race against those guys. So why not have that as an option? So, I mean, it's earned. It's not given. It's earned.
Right.
So
the problem that I see with conversations, kind of like when this comes up, is does it potentially push away some of the open guys? Because I think, could people say, well, why am I even going to go down there and spend all the time, energy, effort, and money to go down there if there's an asterisk next to my name if I do run good and open? Because basically you're a 2-year commitment. If you're planning on if you're good enough where you're going to run good and open, you're essentially at a 2-year commitment. To get yourself to invite, and then you're elite.
And that's like So people had the argument with a few of the guys last year. It's like, well, they should be an invite, and it's like, yeah, they're probably good enough to be an invite, but they ultimately didn't win a class. And I think a couple of them that people were kind of really complaining about. I mean, I don't think they finished in the top 3 in any of those 3 classes. So it's a hard race regardless. So my response to that, Ryan, is there's not a Masters Late Lentil, there's not a Masters Midwest Mod. So if those guys that are in a Masters class want to run the invite, then they need to run the outlaw class, the open class. Because I think that there probably are some guys that's in Masters that are good enough to be an invite. But I kind of look at that as they're taking a step back on their own. Like me, whenever I go run off road, I run the 40 plus mod class, mod buggy. I run the 40 plus mod buggy class because it's less competitive than the mod buggy class. And I don't want to get in the way of the elite mod buggy racers. If I get in the way of an elite 40 plus mod buggy racer, well, I'm running, that person knows they're immediately taking a step below, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, that's how I look at it. Masters is not outlaw. And most of the guys that run Masters, they want to run that class because they want to run with guys their age, and they feel like they're not on top of their game to the point that they won't work. So
I'm still waiting for the 28 and under blind out of the left eye with no left hand.
yeah, I mean, I could run Masters this year at the Chilliwack. I'm old enough finally. Well, I'm not yet. I will be in a couple weeks.
I think your daughters are about my age. Your oldest one, close to mine.
She'll be 20 in May. So she's 19. So
10 years.
Yeah.
8 years. Yeah, you're old.
I'm old as dirt.
I don't think a lot of people necessarily, obviously, like guys like Ryan, those guys have been around for a long time, but sounds like I'm kissing your ass now. But like, I don't think a lot of people understand how long you've been around. I don't think you get enough credit for how long you've been around.
No, a lot of people think that GFRP is a new company. It's funny. Because it's 20 years old. We've been around a while. Seen a lot, done a lot. Any idea why the invite class does not run a standard Chili Bowl format? Because I think they just wanted it to be the Reedy format, which was completely separate style format. It was designed to be something completely different. Why do you think so many tracks don't have the Masters class? Well, a lot of tracks have Outlaw Sprint, then they have 13.5 Sprint. And if we add Masters Sprint, you're just diluting the car counts that much more. So that's my take on it. I don't really think we need to have it. I would argue that the 13.5 class could be considered more of the Masters class.
If a guy chooses to run Masters, do you think it's appropriate that they're also allowed to run Outlaw?
No, I don't think you should be able to run both.
If you choose to step down, you need to step down.
Yeah, because it's an unfair advantage to both classes. So it's unfair advantage to the guys you're racing against in Masters, and it's unfair advantage against the guys that you're running Outlaw against. You're seeing the track one more time every round.
It comes down to that dilution.
Yep. So I think Draymeyer's. I think he's legal for Masters now too. are really, really close. I know he and I are the same age, but I don't know where we work out month wise as to what the actual when we turn 45. So
You guys are gonna have to fight over your AARP memberships and your senior coffee on the way to the track here before long.
hey, that's fine. He's coming from the south. I'm coming from the east, so it'll be all right.
Because Justin's Missouri.
Yep, he's in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, like south of St. Louis somewhere. I don't know. They have a bunch of lead down
Is
there.
Smack Track still a track? Speaking of St. Louis, are they still open?
I don't think so. Scott doesn't have his track anymore, does he, Justin? He would know.
Smack Track was on.
Bro, you've been on here for 2 hours?
I ain't no meat to it.
I forgot it started at 8.
I didn't know he was coming. I would have started at 7:30. I know you gotta get in bed.
I'm old, man. We just discussed this. I'm ready for AA. I have not seen those discounts. So for people that are like the distance between us. So like I think you're like 8 miles from my house. The school that I coach at, I can almost kick a soccer ball and land on their property.
Dustin drives by and flips me off every
Yeah.
day.
Well, I don't know about that. Because where are you? You're like 8th mile
From the school?
from the school?
Oh,
If that?
If that. I mean, think about Kaylee too. Kaylee works in the parking lot of the school, basically.
Where does she work?
Her business is in that salon right there. Right on the other
It
side
is?
of the bridge.
What does she do?
Spray tans and piercings.
Really? I didn't know
She's
that.
badass at it too. She's been in there for a long time. Couple
That's
years.
where my barbershop is.
Do you see who do you see?
The lady.
Mackenzie?
No, the lady, the barber,
owns it?
the actual barbershop.
Oh,
No,
that's
a
new.
barbershop in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah.
I got.
They do a good job.
I've got. You need to go to Mackenzie. She's even better. Not that they're bad. Mackenzie's a gal in there.
But she's busy. She's got to you got to schedule that stuff. I don't schedule anything.
Oh, you just walk in.
I walk in. I don't have time for that. My hair is this is my hair game. Like we just, it is what it is.
I could wring my head out. I've got enough coolant. I've had my head in that friggin' lathe all day.
Well, why do you have hair coolant in your hair from a
I'm
lathe?
97 feet tall.
From a lathe?
And it's dripping all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, don't put your head all the way in it. He's doing something wrong.
Not a Lincoln.
It's gone. It's gone? Rubber tire or foam tire? Foam tire is more fun because it's fast. Rubber tire is better racing. What's your thoughts on freewheeling feature by a Hobbywing speed controller? Click disable.
All of it.
Just disable it. I've messed with it quite a bit. I don't mind it on the sprint car, but I don't go over 3 with it. Anytime I went over 3, it started doing weird stuff. Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan. So you say if you run mod, you should not. So you say if you run mod, you should not get a chance to run 13.5. No, I didn't say that. I said if you run master sprint, you should not be able to run outlaw sprint. If you run 13.5 sprint, so I'm a sprint car guy. If I had any desire whatsoever to run 13.5, I would run 13.5 sprint and mod sprint, and I would not run anything with fenders.
Indiana guys.
Just because I just don't like fenders. So I think running 13.5 and mod would be fine. That being said, I do think that there is I don't know what you would call it. I don't know if it'd be like a gentleman's agreement or a certain level of racer agreement or whatever. I feel like, and this is going to sound arrogant, and I don't mean it in an arrogance way. I don't feel like I, at my abilities, should run a 13.5 class. That's not at like a shootout. Shootout's a completely different thing because that's the top class there is like 13.5 sprint or 13.5 late model. But running like a club show or something like that, or even like a regional level race. Like if PT's is having a trophy race or something like that. If they're offering mod classes, I think guys that are of the ability to run mod and are consistently A main guys in those classes, they should just run mod. They shouldn't run the 13.5 class. I think that should be left for the older guys that are, still doing it because they enjoy it, but they just can't keep up with the mod stuff, or the newer guys and girls and kids and all of that are trying to get their bearings together to where they can run mod. That's my personal opinion. I would look at some of the guys that we race with around here and say, you know what, you're good enough. You probably shouldn't be running 13.5 right now. Just leave that to the other guys. Step up, run mod and only mod.
You just said it right there. Step up. Like it's a stepping stone class, in my opinion.
Yep.
13.5. I don't have any room to talk. I should probably be in 13.5 in both of these cars right now. But I know that I have speed if I can get my shit together. I don't know. I just don't know where my missing link is at the moment because I'm not currently showing what I normally.
He's got too much motor in his sprint car.
I turn it down.
And his late model. Turning it down is not the same.
I told you 13. I need to have 13.5.
Not the same. Put 8.0s in them. You'll be happier. You'll like them better.
They're smoother too.
Well, I don't know. I've not ran their motors, but I know just 8.0. Like I run an 8.0 at the Chili Bowl in my late model. I
put my motor stuff back in.
2 years ago. I ran an 8.0 at the Chili Bowl in my sprint car.
Yeah,
and that's a 200 plus run line track. I can't say anything good or bad about those motors.
I don't have anything bad to say about them.
Yeah, no, I think they're great motors. From everybody that I've talked to, they really like them. So
widths is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, I mean, but if I were you, yeah, I'd have 8.0s. Would you change shock oil versus changing a spring? So talk about this for a second. So shock oil, you're changing the rate in which things move. So you can speed up or slow down. Spring rate, you're changing the pressure that you're applying to the tires and how much you're resisting that roll, and weight transfer and all that stuff. So two totally different things to look at. So I don't really know how to answer when do you do one versus the other. I guess I can say I would not change spring rate if my car just felt like it was kind of floppy. I would just put stiffer shock oil in to slow everything down, because that's all you're trying to do is change how fast or slow everything's reacting.
So this was actually one of the racers submitted questions earlier. So in the beginning of the stream, and I didn't say what you just said, but I summarized it as I feel that changing oil is like a fine tuning, trying to really get something precise, where if you start changing springs, you're kind of throwing your I feel as if I'm going to start changing springs, I'm really throwing the kitchen sink at it a little bit more than changing shock oil. But I guess that's if you go from 500 to 200.
I mean, yes and no. So yes, a shock oil change can be a much more fine-tuned adjustment, but it can also be a massive adjustment.
On a big enough swing of it, you're saying?
I mean, you don't even have to go that big of a swing that much.
Right.
Like, I mean, you can, like, if you're using our oil, like 400 to 500 is a big change.
Big jump.
Yeah, it's a very noticeable change.
So to roll into this then, pistons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself, or guys, do you find yourself tuning those a lot, or do you making changes? So you're 3-hole 125.
I run 3-hole 125 on small bore stuff, and I pretty much never change it unless the track is like crazy rough. And then I might like drill some extra holes in it, or run like a 2-hole piston and then drill 2 extra holes. So you have a 4-hole with 2 different size holes. So you create pack with the smaller holes, and then you have the bigger holes to let everything go through still. But yeah, for the most part, you don't have to change it, and that has to be a pretty rough track for that to be an issue. But yeah, I don't change shock pistons that often, just because it changes everything. So just get to a baseline setup and stick with that. More motor and boost fixes everything. Not always. What's he got in them? 5.0s? No, he's got 7.0s in them. So
Not that crazy, Justin.
nothing crazy, but it's enough. It's enough whenever you're complaining that you're spinning out coming off of corners, especially in the late. Late models, a big difference. Late models go down the straightaways much than sprint cars. Way less drag in a late model than there is in a sprint car. So an 8.0 in a late model feels like a 7.0 in a sprint car, in my opinion.
When you're saying drag, you're saying overcome wind resistance.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yep. So, all right.
Never know, Justin. I might put 5.0s in it next week.
I have ran a 5.0 boosted at 40 in a dirt old car.
How'd you keep tire?
It was a foam tire car.
That doesn't count.
They just spun a lot. I've ran a 5.0 with a rubber tire car before. It's on a big track. Tires weren't the problem. Keeping the battery life in the thing for 4 minutes was the problem. So, all right, you can keep going. I'm gonna go.
I'm on the verge of divorce already. I promised Kaylee I was taking her to Applebee's, and I think they close at 11. Hopefully, they close at midnight.
You got plenty of time. It's a 12-minute drive from here.
Very true. I think I don't.
Tell her to warm up the Tesla. Just get on your phone, warm up the Tesla. That's actually a very good idea.
Do you drive yours here too?
I drove one. I'm gonna warm up my car. Warm up. For Justin, I'm gonna warm up my car. I don't know how to do it. There we go.
I don't know that I could corral you long enough to do it, but I think we should try to do like a podcast or some podcast form.
Okay.
What if I came to you with all the shit, or if you came here?
I was gonna say it'd be easier to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to do it video, is what I'm saying. We could. I mean, it could be audio if we wanted to, or whatever.
Be either way.
I don't know if any. I mean, there's 48 people in here, so I don't know if anybody would even want to listen to that. But I don't know how you feel. I know I just put you on the spot, so
I'm good with
I
that.
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Big bills. You're correct there, Mr. Dremeyer. It was Big Bills that I ran the big motor in.
Big Bills. That's on the side, like right next to what is that? 55 on the way in Illinois.
Yeah, that's where it was. It was a fun track.
Like on your way to RJD down in Lincoln. Did you ever race it?
Yes, I raced the very first loose dirt oval race I ever raced was at RJD.
No kidding.
Yep.
God, how long ago was that? Or you were saying RJD's first oval?
No. Like that was the first time I ever raced loose dirt
kidding.
oval. Yes. I met Doug Canham at that race. I had a fiberglass chassis. Yep. That would have been 2000. Oh, 7 or 8, probably. Yeah, 2008, maybe 2009. Yep, that was the first time I'd ran loose dirt.
Everything was.
Because we ran inside jobs and ribs on the front.
What were you before that? Everything was carpet with your brother?
Foam tire dirt oval. So I started racing dirt oval in 05, 04, 05. Yeah, 05. I started racing RC cars in 99, and that was carpet oval.
So you weren't in the hobby. I mean, compared to a lot of people, you weren't in the hobby a long time before you started JFRP.
No, I started
Right.
no because I started racing. I made my first RC car part in 1999. It was fall of 99 because I started my schooling in 99 because I graduated in 99.
Nice.
And then started schooling, and my brother was making a carpet oval conversion at that time. And I had to make some cross braces.
Yeah. His brother's also my tool guy for my business. So we're all like awkwardly connected.
So
He won't come and see me now that I've moved out to my house, though.
I won't. Why?
I cuss him every time I get to talk to him. He won't come out. I'm saying.
I guess you don't spend enough money with them.
I used to spend a lot of when Haas dropped their tooling package. It's been hard to beat us too.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd like to see a camber length shim and length school. I think that would help a lot of people. Bro, that's just going to confuse a lot of people. Big time. The easiest way to describe length is the longer it is, the more pressure you're going to put on that corner. The shorter it is, the lesser the pressure, but the faster the pressure is going to happen and the more camber gain you're going to get at the same time. So you got all kinds of weird stuff going on with that.
Shorter's edgy, longer's docile.
Yes. You have a good time when you could come out to California and race, and you think you'll come back at some point. I actually very much considered coming out to the Winter Nats. It's the same weekend as Motorama. I actually had that discussion today with the guys in the shop. And we decided I couldn't do that I decided I couldn't do that because I'd already promised a few guys local that I was going to Motorama. And it was kind of contingent on me being there to help them out. So I'm going to Motorama. So I will eventually, if they do they had that Rain Man to an earlier date before, like in July, I could actually make it. But being in August, it's right in the middle of soccer season, so I can't. All right.
I think the way it's shaking out this year, I think I'll probably skip Chili Bowl this year and go to Motorama this year. Try to Chili Bowl next year.
Are you in Motorama yet?
It'll be the same issue.
Yep, because it's sold out in 5 minutes.
I forgot about that.
Yep. You got to go to Applebee's, and I got to go home and go to bed.
All right.
Tyler, I'm going to be late in the shop in the morning. What is late?
Oh, we got to say something, Mr. Putnam.
Oh, Putnam said something?
He's supposed to be working on
rule.
He's supposed to work on a Scale Labs rep for me.
Oh, yeah?
Get the Scale Lab copy in my spectrum.
There you go. Rick's a decent guy. He's okay. He does a decent job most of the time. What year was it when you made the Assault and had issues with the chassis plate that had to get modified? Hell, I don't know. I don't remember when. Well, I had to get modified on it. I don't know. I had to get modified on it. I don't remember. I made a lot of Assault chassis over the years. All right. I'm going home.
We're out here.
You're going to Applebee's.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We've been on here long enough.
See you.
I'll try to corral Dustin a little bit more here later on. So see you guys. Thank you. Have a good night.